Hey everyone, just wanted to thank you for gathering around. We're going to be talking about shadow databases today. So we got this tech project issue card that I want to play, and I know this will help us get some alignment. So we'll play the alignment mode for today in our upcoming CRM meeting later in the week. Hey, what's a shadow database? Okay, that's a great question, Chris. I know kind of we're talking about a few different things, and that's kind of what we're going to zero in on is what exactly is a shadow database and why it might not be a good thing when it comes to using the CRM that we're paying for, because I know that Fred probably wants to make sure that we're getting the most out of it. A shadow database is any system or area that is outside of the CRM that we're not actually putting it inside the CRM. So like your email or spreadsheets or something like that. Awesome. Okay, so just kind of set some expectations. We're going to be talking about a tech project today, and generally we're exploring what is the concept of a shadow database and why somebody might use it. So let's go ahead and get started. We'll kind of filter in on the communication side on which of these is drawing your character in the types of work that you do. So we have scale communications using automated workflows, utilizing generative AI to write emails, or unify all communication under a single standardized voice. So, who wants to go first? What are people's thoughts on which card to focus in on? Well, my character is the trust keeper, and it says that I identify with reliability and earn trust, but I fear shortcuts that damage long-term credibility. So, look, I get AI for some stuff, but I don't know if that's what I'm really comfortable with, like connecting with people or potentially even having sensitive data interact with that. I don't think, we've figured that out. But so I'm a little bit more focused on, the standard voice. Well, look, I try to connect with a lot of people as my character. And, one of the things that I'm really kind of interested in is mutual experiences, shared experiences. So I think workflows can get me connected to a lot more people than just individual discussions and stuff like that. For me and my character, consistency is accuracy, okay? The more that we know, the more that is standardized, the better it's going to be when it comes in, when we're trying to interpret it. So for me, I like that standardized voice. Okay, I can agree with that. Awesome. Okay, let's move that one off to the side. We'll keep that in mind moving forward. Now let's kind of dive into our next round, which is going to focus on engagement prompts. So let's take a look at those from the perspective of what might work best for using the CRM versus shifting over to a shadow database. Okay. Reserve leadership access for major contributors. Structured steps are provided after each interaction, or supporters are invited to engage in a variety of ways. Look, just like the last round, I'm also a little uncomfortable with full automation, AI, all that type of stuff. We need to slow down and kind of check what that's going to be used for. So I like the structured steps. It's pretty straightforward. I think that's the answer that we can kind of zero in on. Okay, but I'm also going to be focusing on a lot of different major gifts in the work that I do. So can we at least make sure that that's taken into account? Because I'm going to be scaling up, a little bit of a focus there. So I just want to make sure that that's taken into consideration. Okay, look, for me, I think that structured steps builds on what we've already talked about. So I'm in favor of that one. I think that that's going to help also build some trust because we've gotten that standardized voice that whenever we're interacting with any of the data or the people or stuff like that, we know exactly what's going to happen. Okay, sounds like we've got some alignment on structured steps. So let's take that into consideration when it comes to how we might think about the last question, which is going to be more operational. So let's go ahead and play the 3 cards that we have for that. Require complete data profiles for engagement, transition support channels to digital-first self-service, or outsource core operational functions to specialized vendors. Ugh, don't like that one. Ooh, I don't like that. No. I like the profile. I like the complete profile. I think that there's a lot that we can do if we have all that information, and ideally we can get it as much of it up front. Look, I'm going to be okay with that last one as long as we talk about the notes. I'm talking to a lot of different people, and I'm a little concerned about all the different things and conversations that I'm having that anybody can just read it. So, yeah, I know that a shadow database might be my email, but I don't want a bunch of stuff to be read that shouldn't be read. Yeah, I agree. I'm a little worried as the trust keeper that if we're requiring all of this type of stuff and we have some sensitive notes, like that should be opt-in. Like people should know, what's happening with that information at the very least if it's something that, they weren't expecting to be in a database. So is there a way that we can even explore how to hide that information? Okay, I see your point, and I'm okay with that. Yeah, I can be down with that. Okay, cool. Let's go ahead and put all of these together. We kind of aligned on when it comes to thinking about how not to have shadow databases in the database, unifying communication under a single standardized voice that leads to structured steps after each interaction that requires complete data profiles for engagement, but with an amendment by Chris on we have to talk about utilization of security and privacy controls when it comes to the database. And so we can look into that into our meeting. We're going to kind of go out of game for a moment now, and we can sit back and talk about what this means for our upcoming meeting. But it looks like the general thing that we explored here is a bit of concern about data sensitivity, and maybe that's why there's some hesitations using things in the wild, so to speak. So, okay, looks like we'll be able to dive into this another time. Thanks for all of you for playing.